This is Fox 19 Now.
It's 8 o'clock now on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Jessica Brown.
I'm Dan Wells. Meteorologist Catherine Bodak has the rainy forecast for us.
Well, at least we're looking dry now, guys. We will have dry conditions for that morning drive, and we will continue to have that potential for rain and thunder in your afternoon forecast, and I'll break that down for you here in just a few moments. But notice how we have the cloud cover hanging out over Florence as you look live with mild temperatures at 66 degrees and winds out of the southwest. Let me show you where the system is positioned. Now, it's a stationary front, and stationary means it's not going to move all that much, and it will be very close to our region. So over the course of the next couple days, we're going to see this little boundary start to develop some showers, and those showers will actually go in and out of our area as we head into the next couple days. So today we are tracking this line kind of setting up just north of us, and the Storm Prediction Center has placed us under a marginal risk for scattered thunderstorms. An isolated few do have the potential of becoming strong to severe, and that greatest threat will be in between about 3 to 10 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll be tracking that for you with also those mild temperatures in the forecast at 66 in Lunken, 67 in Hamilton, it's 62 in Middletown, and 64 currently in Wilmington. If you're heading out and about today, we will have temps in the upper 70s. We're watching out for showers and thunderstorms. Of course, we're not looking at widespread potential for strong to severe storms, but an isolated one may be those marginal limits. So we'll watch that today. Denise, this morning we lucked out. It's dry, so we'll take that with mild temperatures.
And we actually even have some sun out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been, I can't say it's like bright.
Just a mixed bag, you know. It depends where you are.
But still, it's better than rain.
Yes.
Right now, though, we are dealing with an accident as far as heading out on 74 in that eastbound direction. I was kind of going through the cameras here, and you can see this accident. Now, the accident, it looks like it's a couple of cars, maybe even 3 cars there, because there's another car off onto the left shoulder. Now, this is inbound 74, so in that eastbound direction. Now, once you get past the accident, it's not looking too bad. You also have a police officer over on the right shoulder. So slowing traffic down in that area all the way back to around North Bend. You're hitting your brakes in that eastbound direction. Now, if you're heading out as well, starting to see delays in the westbound direction across the bridge there, heading from Newport into Covington. Now they're going to close that lane down, the westbound lanes, until 3 o'clock. So that's going to cause big problems today. 8:02, back to you.
Denise, thank you. A Coleraine man who confessed to killing his wife in a 911 call is now behind bars. Our Robert Guadarrama joins us live downtown with the latest on the investigation. What can you tell us, Robert?
Good morning, Jessica. That's right. That man is set to be arraigned later this morning here in about an hour at the Justice Center downtown. Now, it appears that a dispute over money between a husband and wife may have led to this shooting. Now, here's a picture of 57-year-old Jeffrey Hawkins. This morning, he is now charged with the murder of his wife, Joanne Hawkins. According to police, the shooting took place around 11 o'clock yesterday morning at the couple's home in the 3900 block of Apple Tree Court. That's in Coleraine Township. In a 911 call placed by Hawkins, he admits to shooting his wife multiple times during a confrontation over money. In an emotional call, Hawkins identifies himself as a former police officer. Police say they found the woman with multiple gunshot wounds. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we actually have those 911 tapes, and we'll take a listen to them. Reporting live downtown, Robert Guadarrama, Fox 19 Now.
I can tell you there were multiple gunshot wounds with multiple victims, and we will be sharing the information with the Pike County Coroner, Dr. Kessler, first, and we'll have a discussion on what he deems appropriate to release and when.
The investigation into the murder of 8 family members in Piketon is now entering its 5th day. Hamilton County Coroner Dr. Lakshmi Smarko spoke at a news conference yesterday. There have been more than 100 tips and 50 interviews and 18 pieces of evidence being tested for DNA, but still no suspects. Fox 19 Now is working to bring you the latest information in the Pike County murders. We have everything for you online, on air, and also on our mobile app.
Operators of a Dayton abortion clinic are fighting to keep their license today. This after being denied an exception to state rules, which requires the facility to have a patient transfer agreement with the hospital. Well, the clinic, which is the only one in that city, has been seeking the exception since 2012. Well, they're scheduled to attend a hearing today in Columbus. New restrictions have closed about half of Ohio's abortion clinics.
The race for the White House certainly heating up as voters in 5 states head to the polls today.
And as the presidential hopefuls continue to battle for more delegates, Sarah Selly is here to explain what's at stake.
Yeah, we are talking about a Northeast showdown. 5 states voting today: Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, all of them heading to the polls. And many of the polls are now open. Pennsylvania having the lion's share of delegates, 71 for Republicans, 189 for Democrats. Maryland also a big state, 95 delegates for Democrats and 38 for Republicans. Now on the Democrat side, Clinton has a pretty big lead over Sanders in Pennsylvania and Maryland, but polls are tighter in Connecticut and other states. Republicans saying that Trump's in the lead in Pennsylvania and Maryland. A tight race between Cruz and Kasich for second place in those 2 states. John Kasich and Ted Cruz announcing they will work together to divide the remaining races after today's primaries in an effort to stop Donald Trump. Trump needs about 52% of the remaining delegates from here on out to avoid a contested convention. Hillary Clinton says she's well in place to get the delegates that she needs to win outright. Full results tonight at 10 on Fox 19 Now.
Sarah, thank you. Another tough loss for the Reds, taking on the Mets for the first of a 3-game series in Queens. Neil Walker hit a 2-run homer off Reds reliever J.C. Ramirez to win that game 5-3. But it's not all bad news. Right fielder Jay Bruce has now been added to the 3-day list. Now the Reds tweeting out this late into last night's game: "Welcome to the world."
Aww.
Carter Bruce, we're talking about him being a dad. Jay Bruce is expected to return to play Friday against the Pirates.
Congratulations.
Yeah, coming up, do bed bugs have a favorite color? A new study shows the pests are drawn to certain hues over the others. I'm gonna get the color that they least like.
Right, and just wear that all the time.
Yeah.
Plus, a behind-the-scenes look at the newest Star Wars movie, how one of the film's stars is showing off her Jedi skills. Look at that.
You're watching Fox 19 Now in high definition. Sponsored by Performance Toyota. Always home of the $24.95 oil change. This is Fox 19 Now.
Hey, a live look outside at 75 in Newman Way. Denise will have a look at the morning commute in just a couple of moments, but looks slow right now.
It does. 8:11 now. A new report has found that Kentucky has the highest percentage of kids in the nation who have had a parent in jail. The Courier-Journal reports that 13% of Kentucky kids reported in the 2011 to 2012 school year that they had a parent incarcerated at some point in their lives. That percentage is nearly double the national average of 7%. Nonprofit Kentucky youth advocates say those numbers are important because having a parent behind bars can really have a long-lasting effect on kids.
An alleged sexual abuse victim is now filing a lawsuit against former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert. Now, the victim says Hastert promised him $3.5 million in hush money but failed to pay it. And now the man is asking a court to make Hastert pay $1.8 million in damages. He says he was just 14 years old at the time of the alleged abuse. Last year, Hastert pled guilty to related federal charges.
The city of Cleveland will pay $6 million to the family of Tamir Rice. This after they settled a federal lawsuit. He was just 12 years old when he was shot and killed by police, gunfire, while holding a pellet gun in a city park. Here's video of that incident. According to the settlement, the city acknowledges no fault in Tamir's November 14th death. Cleveland's mayor says he hopes the agreement will help the city to move toward closure.
And while we have settled the legal side of this and the court proceeding side of this for $6 million, there is no price that you can put on the life of the loss of a 12-year-old child.
Yeah, the settlement is still pending the approval of a probate judge.
The Cincinnati streetcar is getting closer to completion, and City Council is another step closer to getting a budget passed. But during last night's committee meeting, Councilman Kevin Flynn tried to offer up an amendment that moved leftover construction money to an operating fund. Other supporters saw that as an accounting issue, and the budget passed the committee with 5 votes for the plan. Right now, there's around $1.7 million left in the construction budget. The budget ordinance now goes to a full committee vote tomorrow. Well, the next time you pack for a trip, you might want to grab your brightest colored luggage.
Yeah.
Brightest color luggage.
There you go. Here's why.
Is that right?
A new study found that bed bugs have favorite colors too. And if you want to avoid them, yeah, that's why you want to bring something bright. Researchers say bed bugs really like dark red and black, and they typically avoid white and bright yellow. Of course, the bright suitcase only keeps them away from your stuff. Scientists are currently studying the best sheets to use to keep them off the bed as well. That's what we really want to do. All right, check this out. Daisy Ridley is sharing a behind-the-scenes look into her preparations for the upcoming Star Wars movie. Check her out. The actress posted an Instagram video yesterday showing her training with a stuntman. She's good. Wow. And showing off some pretty cool lightsaber moves. The movie is set to premiere in December of next year. I love that she's doing all her moves.
I love that too, how the actors just kind of dive right in.
Right?
They do all the parts.
There's so
awesome.
much training that goes in to doing a movie like that I think people at home probably never even imagine.
Oh yeah.
It's like choreography.
You kind of have to really appreciate what they do.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, it's a
They
lot of
gotta
work.
earn their money.
Yeah, and they earn a lot of it.
They just have to earn it.
Hey,
I love that.
75 in Newman, we pulled up that camera.
Yeah.
It's slow.
It is slow, and there's reported to be an accident right around Galbraith, and I'm not finding on any of the cameras. That doesn't mean it's not out there, but you are slow in that southbound 75 side. You know,
right.
we got some slow spots still all around the tri-state.
Rain is coming into the area as well.
Yeah, so, but at least it's dry right now, especially if we have slow traffic out there. We will have showers and thunderstorms mostly this afternoon, and I'll talk about that in your full forecast here. Let me take you outside. We're going to take you to Batavia, where we do have 68 degrees. It's very mild out there. To start your day with those winds, trying to make up their mind right now. It's unsettled, and we will see today some mild air, the fuel we need to have a couple thunderstorms. Now, let's switch things over. We're not looking at any widespread potential for severe weather, but we're not ruling out scattered thunderstorms. And I'm going to break that down today. We have mild temperatures in the forecast. We have the moisture we need to see a couple of those fire up. And this unsettled stretch of weather will continue for the next couple days. So here's our current picture, Storm Tracker Doppler radar, advertising a somewhat stalled out boundary that's just north of our region. So south of that layer, we will actually have that active weather pattern going on. And this is all part of a system that's going to be kind of hovering in our region, if you will, over the next couple days, or oscillating is maybe a better term. These low pressure systems will kind of send pulses of energy into the region. And you can see the first wave kind of off to the east. We have a secondary wave off to the west, but along that boundary during the course of the day with these mild temperatures in the forecast, I won't rule out that chance for rain and thunder pretty much throughout the rest of the day. The Storm Prediction Center has placed us under a marginal risk, so a few of those scattered thunderstorms may be severe or even isolated strong. We will be talking about that again during the mid part of the day by 2 o'clock. Now, these RPM, or this rapid update, usually has a rough time pinpointing where those individual pockets will pop up, but we will keep it in the forecast pretty much all day long. Of course, it does overdo the moisture sometimes as well. So we'll watch that into the afternoon for you. You'll have to kind of be weather-wise as we head into the second part of the day as those showers eventually taper off in the overnight. So your 7-day forecast calls for temps over the next couple days to be in the 60s and 70s. Unsettled weather will dry out Friday with the rain returning Saturday and Sunday. Denise, we're sending it over to you with that CarStar Traffic Now update.
Wow, Catherine, right now, I mean, we do have some slow spots out there. We were watching some of that, especially on 75 in that southbound direction. There was an accident, and it's reported to be right around Galbraith. I went through every single camera. That doesn't mean it's not there, because we're definitely seeing the delays in that southbound direction. You're hitting your brakes from Galbraith, heading southbound, or from Newman Way, I'm sorry, heading southbound past Galbraith and Ronald Reagan. So you're looking at 36 minutes from 275 all the way into downtown. Now, the good news is we had an accident on 74 heading inbound, and traffic was backed up to around North Bend. So you can see traffic and things are starting to ease. They cleared the accident. It was on the left shoulder and the right shoulder, so that's gone. And then again, they're going to be shutting down the westbound lanes. They're on the bridge heading from Newport into Covington, and they should have shut those down at 8 until 3 this afternoon. Dan, back to you.
Denise, thank you. Beacon of Hope Business Alliance is setting a goal of creating 500 second chance jobs. This morning we have Dan Meyer, the CEO of Nehemiah Manufacturing and the founder of Beacon of Hope Business Alliance, to explain. Dan, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
We talked kind of in the break about paying it forward, and that's what you're doing. Talk about the program and how it started to begin with.
Yeah, Beacon of Hope, to give you some background, I probably have to tell you a little bit about Nehemiah Manufacturing. We started Nehemiah Manufacturing 7 years ago, and we wanted to be in the inner city to create jobs for those that need it most. Little did we know 7 years later that most of those folks were those that have a history of drug and alcohol abuse or a felony on their record that nobody else would hire. We embrace those folks. We love those folks. Today, we have 60 of our 100 employees is what I call second chance folks that just needed a second chance. We have found them to be the most productive, most loyal, most engaged employees. Folks that started out just on our production line, taking a box from the conveyor belt and put it on a pallet, are today our line captains, line supervisors, running our manufacturing operation, running our warehouse. And we've been able to see, you know, the impact, the power of sustainable employment has on second chance citizens.
Clearly, 7 years later, right?
Yeah, 7 years later. But what we realize is, you know, in our community, there are a lot of folks that need and deserve a second chance. There are folks that probably our neighbors or somebody that we know. There's 2,000 folks that come out of our prison and jail system each year looking and wanting a second chance, but what they need is sustainable employment. If they don't get that, they end up going back into prison, and what that costs us as a community is $25,000 to $30,000.
Well, and you know, one bad decision in life shouldn't cast a shadow on the rest of a person's productive life.
Absolutely. I always say that we all go through this journey of life. We live with one foot on the ice and one on a banana peel, and we're all going to slip and fall. So we've always had somebody in our life that lifts us up. Now, some people make worse decisions than others. They have to serve their time, and they do that, and they come out, and they want to be productive employees, and they just need that second chance.
Yeah.
So hence the Beacon of Hope Business Alliance. We realize we can't hire people fast enough.
Sure.
We know the power of hiring second chance employees, most productive, most engaged, most loyal employees. In our business, turnover can be 50, 75, 100%. At Nehemiah, it's 10 to 15%.
So Dan, with that said, how can people get involved? How can we help you in your mission and get those people jobs?
Thank you. The Beacon of Hope Business Alliance is kicking off a breakfast event on May 13th from 7:30 to 9 a.m. That'll be at the Cincinnati Museum Center at Union Terminal. What we're doing is reaching out to all the senior business leaders in the community, CEOs, presidents, business owners. Come to the event, it's free. You're gonna learn about why we need to hire second chance citizens, the benefits of that, how to leverage the social services in our community to do that. Hear firsthand from people whose lives have been transformed by just having a second chance, having employment. So we're hoping to get this thing filled up.
We will.
We need 200 folks or more. It's free, so go online to Beacon of Hope, BA.org, beaconofhopeba.org. Sign up, join us on May 13th, Friday, 7:30 to 9.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for starting the tide.
Hey,
Good
more
work,
than
man.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Dan, stick around for just a minute. I'm going to talk to you in the break, and we're going to put all of that information on our website, fox19now.com. Coming up, a family member of the Pike County murder victims now speaking out. He is opening out about that tragedy and what investigators said to his family. That's coming up. Plus, time is running out to get your hands on a ticket to win the St. Jude Dream Home. We'll talk more about that coming up. Stay with us.